Hey, Lab Coat Agents, welcome again to another show. This time we've got VirtuDesk with us, and we're going to be talking about how to hire a virtual assistant. And to me, this kind of hits home for me because the very first time I read The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, one of my all-time favorite books, by the way, it really changed the way I was approaching business as a whole. And that was really bringing in virtual assistants to help me run my business. Up until that time, Pavel, I was using virtual assistants kind of like just here and there with no real structure, maybe create a graphic here or there. And I didn't realize, I don't know why I didn't realize it, but I didn't realize it up until that point when I read the book, 4-Hour Work Week, that I could use them to run a whole business. It just never crossed my mind, right? I didn't realize that I really didn't need much more than that. And a virtual assistant can be anywhere around the world. It doesn't just have to be like you guys have them all in the Philippines, right? It doesn't have to all be in the Philippines. It could be everywhere. It could just be virtual. So
we have developers in Russia currently. We also, so not only in the Philippines, right now.
Yeah, dude. So I love that. And guys, if you have a chance, pick up the book, 4-Hour Work Week. It's an older book. What, 2000, mid 2000s, 2006, 2007? I don't know.
2000s, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But take a look at that one. And Pavel, thanks for being with us, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate it.
Guys, the reason we have Pavel on with VirtuDesk, obviously, is because Lab Coat Agents uses a whole bunch of virtual assistants, and we run a lot of our business through them. Half of our staff are virtual assistants, and they're all from VirtuDesk. Well, the majority of them. So thanks, Pavel. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, let's get right into it, man. Tell us a little bit about VirtuDesk, and let's go right into how the hell to hire a virtual assistant.
Absolutely. Well, guys, VirtuDesk, we've been in business for several years, and I'm myself also a designated broker. I own a brokerage in Seattle area, and it all started where the idea for VirtuDesk started when I had agents come up to me and asking me how to leverage better their time, how to get prospecting done, how to get admin done, and I was just basically advising agents as far as getting a VA, and then I started helping them getting the VA. So that kind of like from the office thing turned into the nationwide thing. And that's what we're doing. So, but as far as the virtual assistant, this pandemic right now has shown that more and more people actually working remotely now, not just a virtual assistant, like real estate agents, brokers, mortgage, insurance guys. And if you don't mind, I can share my screen. I've read this article in the Wall Street Journal, and that hit home. Warren Buffett said he's predicting that less and less people will be returning home. Returning to the offices. So the guy's 89 years old, but he's seeing the future that that more and more people will be working from home. And it's not even probably after this pandemic is over, people will be, still will be more comfortable doing work that, at other locations because it just makes sense. Financial sense and logistical sense, and how much time you actually save on the commute and everything. So,
what do you think? What do you think his main reason for that reasoning is? Why does he think that less people will return? Is it just financial? Do you think, or what do you think it is?
I think because of the way, because couple things. One is talent. Let's say you have. When you're actually everybody's working remotely, you're not limited in the geographical area as far as the talent goes. Yeah. The reason I think is because logistical things. For example, you have somebody who's amazing at something and you want that person to work for you, but you live in LA. That person lives, let's say, in San Francisco or San Diego, okay? So the whole commute to your office is obviously going to be burdensome and it's not going to work. The relocation is not going to work, but that person can work remotely for you. So financial plus logistical reasons, I think it's what's really gonna be the drive force for that, to hiring people outside of your office.
Okay, got it. And then I think for real estate, what we can see is definitely we can hire an admin, we can hire a transaction coordinator, we can hire virtual assistants to really run our whole business.
Exactly, exactly. And there are many companies where you could try to do that. I mean, you can go to like Upwork, you can create online, account on onlinejobs.ph, Fiverr, Zerto, or Virtudesk. But let's say you go to Fiverr or Upwork, where you create an account, you can pick a bunch of resumes and start looking for talent.
Okay, so
yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Tristan, we're not seeing Tristan. So the difference, hold on, I'm not sure. Tristan is off. Tristan has disappeared. Tristan,
yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I just made you. You're a co-host, so just keep on going. With
I'll keep on
don't
going.
even,
All right, sounds good.
Don't even worry about me.
All right, no worries. So basically, here's the thing. Let's say you go to Upwork or Fiverr or onlinejobs.ph, and you find somebody. You have to interview them. You have to do background check. You have to verify references. You have to do all of that work, which is pretty much a full-time job. And what we do at Virtudesk compared to other companies, number one, we actually vet those people, because let's say you go to onlinejobs.ph, where a lot of people from the Philippines submit their resumes, and you don't know how good they are. You don't know anything about them. So what we do, we actually vet them for you already. So by the time they're actually they're in front of you, they've already been vetted, verified, trained, because we also do the training of those people. However, what do you need?
Pablo, can you go back to that screen where to hire virtual assistants? Go back there, that one. So I wanted to touch on that because we've hired from all of those except from onlinejobs.ph. I haven't tested that one out. And I also want to tell everybody here, this is where you go and find virtual assistants. And usually for Upwork, it's for a specific job. Like if you have, like, for instance, you want to redo your website, or you want somebody to edit your videos, you can do that there. You can do it on Fiverr, right? Mm-hmm. And you can pick saying, hey, look, I'll give you $1,000 and you can do all of these things that I need on my website, or work on my SEO type of thing. So there are things that you can look for these virtual assistants to do that are per project basis too. So that's why Pavel put it up there too. When you're looking more for somebody to be your admin, kind of like more routine, like we have, that's where we go more towards Virtudesk or a company like Virtudesk, where we can go to them and say, hey, Pavel, like we just did. We just hired another one. Their first day's today. They're going to run LCA elements for us, right?
You just got Gab.
Yeah, Gab or Gabriel. And he's going to be in charge of doing the things that we want for the communities and the training and all of that. But we need him on forever, right? For as long as LCA elements last.
You already saw our academy, Virtudesk Academy. He was the integral part of he was the guy who built the academy for us, just to give you an idea. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. He did. And so that's why that was really impressive for us. And I was like, you know what, we do need somebody like that. But not to shy. I don't want people to shy away from Upwork or Fiverr, because they have their niches too, right?
They do.
So
absolutely, yeah.
We wanted just to understand how it is to look at a virtual assistant and then be able to choose which ones we go to, right? So like I said, if you need a quick graphic, Fiverr. If you need, Pavel, the easiest way to get a graphic for YouTube, go to Fiverr, pay $5. They'll redo a graphic. They'll send it over to you. Done.
Exactly.
Right? If you want something longer, like I said, Virtudesk. But these are the places. Take a picture of this, guys. This way you know where to go.
I'm going to send them, anybody who wants, at the end of the webinar, I can share how to get the copies of those slides. So
awesome.
Yeah. You don't
Thank
need to,
you,
yeah.
All right, you can go to the next one. I just wanted to add that part.
Yeah, absolutely. And at VirtueDesk, what separates us from others is that most importantly, what we do training, we do continuing training, we do subject matter expert sessions with our VAs, teach them on all types of CRMs, all types of dialer and tools. So besides the background check and real-time tracking, we also manage that. So when you hire a VA from us, you hire the whole company essentially to do.
So Pavel,
Yeah.
are they trained in different CRMs like I don't know, Commissions Inc.,
Oh, yeah.
Chime, Ylopo? How about Command? There was a question up here about Command.
Command is the biggest part of our training curriculum, actually, because
Okay.
that's how we've built the. Sorry, stop sharing for some reason. Yeah, no, we've built the great curriculum, the academy, the one you saw.
Yeah.
We actually share it with you guys later and show you.
Yeah, show us.
Yeah, I'll show you what our.
There you go. Is that the back end right there?
Hold on, no, this is Sprout. Hold on. Okay.
There, I saw your password, and I can't unsee it now, Pavel. I'm joking. I'm joking.
That's it.
There you go. All right. Explain to us what this is.
So basically, this is our, it's called VirtueDesk Academy. So whenever, let's say we hire VAs who are working for us, we put them through a gruesome 2-week training course. Besides like knowing about real estate, we teach them on certain CRMs. And since you asked the Command, this is the indexed course on Command.
Love it.
So probably not a lot of agents know how to do it,
No,
but
they don't.
we have built it up already, and like things like mail, how to unlink with MailChimp, how to update notifications in DocuSign, integrations, designs, how to create design. So we've built that course for them, so they can. So it's basically live instruction along with this course on Command.
Love it.
So
all right, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for doing a sidetrack there on the side.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Yeah.
Well, you know, if people want to know where to get a hold of you really quick, because I have a few people, is it just VirtueDesk?
MyVirtueDesk.com.
Okay. All right. Continue then. I'll type it
Yeah.
in.
All right. Okay. So before you hire anybody, you need to know what they're going to be doing. So create an application test, an applicant test. Like you need to test their knowledge, know what they're doing. And Tristan, you've been in this game for a long time, and I know you know how to do that. Give them sample tasks to complete, testing their abilities to prioritize and to actually do something.
I can give you. Let me go back to that. Go one previous one. There you go. Create an applicant test. This takes time. So if you're going to hire somebody, let's say from Upwork or from wherever, and it's not from a company like VirtueDesk because they create their own applicant tests, then you want to make sure that you take an hour, 2 hours, and kind of outline what the job duty is. Like if you're going to hire, I'll give you an example, the same one we used last time, Pavel. If you're going to hire somebody to run your YouTube page, right? You want to make sure that ours edits, right? They create the graphics and they understand how to upload on YouTube, put the right tags, use the right wording and everything involved on YouTube. And so I have to create an applicant test and be like, okay, great. You understand YouTube? Great. I've got this video that I shot that's 3 minutes long. Go ahead and edit the video, right? Put an intro and an outro. Go ahead and create me a graphic for the cover of YouTube and go ahead and upload it into YouTube and show me what you've got, including the title, the body, and everything else, right? And now if they run that test and they pass it, I'm like, great, you did a great job, right? Now we have something to base it off of. But the challenge is, Pavel, a lot of us don't have any applicant tests. We just kind of hire when I talk to If
Mhm.
I talk to you, Pavel, and you sound like you're super cool, I'm like, okay, you're hired.
Hire
And,
fast, fire faster, right?
and that's the worst part about it. So if you're listening in, you need to create a process and you have to test them on this process.
That's correct.
All right.
What we do, we've actually take it out of the equation for you as far as because we understand a lot of people don't have an applicant test.
Mm-hmm.
So when we hire people, let's say like over the weekend, we usually receive about 500 resumes. So in order to go through those resumes of VAs, it's a full-time job.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
then from those, we interview and do background check. Those who go to training, after training, they have an applicant test. Once they complete the training, we actually test them on Command or Ylopo or Chime, any kind of CRMs out there, and we give them a dummy test just to see how they do. So when we actually endorse them to customer, we know that they know how to do it because Tristan, I mean, that's what I put applicant test. 90% of real estate agents don't give them that, but they should. You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a hard thing for an agent to sit down and create an applicant test,
correct
right?
because they're all busy running the business.
Well,
It's under.
not only that, a lot of us agents are not analytical by nature, right? We're more expressive,
Yeah,
outgoing, right? So there's that. All right, dude. So go to the next one that you had there. I wanted to take a look. Can you press play on it on the top middle left so we can see a bigger screen? Thank you.
there we go.
All right. So here, well, we have a question here. Bob's asking, great question, Bob. Do they have the applicants, do you have them take a DISC profile test as well?
Yes, we do.
All right, cool.
Yes.
Good. All right. So here, when you're interviewing the person, I love how you've broken this down. So I was about to tell people to take a picture of this, but you're going to send this to everybody. So
I will send it. Yeah, I will send it to people. Yeah.
all right, I'll send you the list of everybody that registered so you can send this to everybody.
Perfect. We'll send it to everybody.
I love this. What type of work are you best at? It kind of goes interview questions to ask. I asked that question anyway. That's so funny because I interviewed Gabriel last week from
Yeah.
Virtual Desk, and I said, "So, dude, I don't know what you're good at. So why don't you just tell me what were you great at, right? What are you great at?" And then he busted out that he made the back end of Virtual Desk. I'm like, "You're hired."
Yeah, he did.
I think I only got through one question, which is
You saw the academy, right?
terrible. It's terrible. All right, go continue, man.
So yeah, this is just a list of questions that typically you would ask somebody at the interview. There are a couple of things to watch out for. Like, let's say if you're hiring for a position of an ISA and somebody or customer service, somebody's going to be responding to a telephone call or making phone calls for you. A couple of things to look out for is number one, that they have proper internet connection. The reason is because Philippines is it's a third world country, and some of the patches of them have a low, not a good internet connection. So make sure you have them do a speed test on that. Okay. Also, watch out for the sounds outside. If the person is not located in the Metro Manila area, sometimes even in the Metro Manila area, but they live more or less in the province, they have roosters. They have roosters, they have dogs. Yeah. So, and let's say your ISA is making a phone call and has roosters in the background, it's not going to sound really professional. So,
well, to be fair, I was talking to my friend in Hawaii yesterday, and he had a rooster in the background too. So,
But he's not making calls for you, bro.
That's true.
But again, people more or less expect a more of a professional setting. If they're calling on your behalf to your customer expects more of a professional setting, like they assume it's an office. It's okay, it's not. But sometimes with roosters, the problem can be solved with a noise canceling headset. It's one thing. Also, it depends what time they're working for you. We had an amazing ISA once, I remember, and she had roosters, and she said it was not mine, it was neighbors. It's neighbors' roosters. Even with a noise canceling headset, we could still hear it, but then we figure out, okay, roosters wake up at a certain time. So if she works before the roosters wake up, then it's fine, and it worked out. But this is just something to keep in mind. You know.
Yeah, that's true. And guys, when you're asking for internet speed, hold on. Michael, I didn't know you were on, Michael. We got Michael from Germany. He says, what is a rooster? I know you're joking. You're funny. It's a male chicken. So I love that. But I wanted to add, when you're asking, hey, how's your internet speed? I know a lot of agents don't understand their answers. If somebody says, well, mine's 3 megabytes per second or 5, look for a minimum, I think a minimum of 5 Mbps.
Yeah.
Right? 5 megabits per second is something that's good, because below that it can get a little choppy when you have them on the phone, and usually they're using things like, or tools like Ring Central to connect to somebody, Skype to call people, or another different tool. But 5 Mbps is the minimum. So Jeff Russell says, my recent stay in Hawaii, the roosters were up at 3:30. Yeah, Jeff, the roosters are real in Hawaii. It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Sometimes you have to play around with the schedule to make sure that a person works for you, gets off work before the roosters wake up. And we've done it before, because she was such talent, we didn't want to let her go, so we just paired her up with I think it was somebody from the East Coast, because of the time difference. So that actually worked pretty well.
Very true. I have a valid question here, and Pavel, I'm going to answer it, because if you answer it, it's unfair. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Patrick Dolan says, what's the difference between Pavel's My Virtue Desk, he's calling you the new kid on the block, versus My Outdesk, which is the veteran, right? Both seemingly hire Philippines vetted talent. Patrick, it's a very valid question. I actually have used both. And from my personal experience, it obviously can be different for you, but my personal experience, the ones from Virtue Desk were better trained for the tasks I needed them to do. And I've had graphic designers, video editing, admins, and lots of other ones. Like I said, we just hired one. That has been the biggest difference for me. But really, I think it's going to come down to you testing them out. That's the best I can say.
Yeah. And I never bash competition, and I'll just say, test this out and see for yourself. If you like it, good. If you don't, no hard feelings.
Yeah, and then for those people that are asking for these slides, because they are good slides, they break down the process. They will be sent to you later today. I'm sending Pavel the list of everybody that registered.
Yep, and
we'll send those out. Will send those out later today.
And those who are listening on Facebook Live, there's going to be at the end of the slide, there's going to be a phone number to text, and we'll text them to you. So no problem.
Oh, even better, dude. All right, so thanks. I actually forgot those people that were listening on Facebook. So thanks, Pavel.
Yeah, we have some people there too.
Yeah, we do. All right, continue.
Yeah, so this is the next important aspect of the, you need to write a job description, which you want your VA to do, okay? Again, if you need a copy of a job descriptions, just send me a text, we'll get it out to you, okay? But for those who don't have, but again, this is gonna be a sample because I don't know your business, I don't know what you do, but usually job description is, you need person for specific tasks, specifically what you need, like for example, I run a real estate brokerage also, besides Virtue Desk. So I have VAs doing tasks of lead mining, I call it. Lead mining is basically where they go to I provide them the list of agents I want to recruit, for example, and they go through that list of agents and make sure that the information is still correct. The email is still correct. They can call and verify this is the correct, just to update the database. You can do the same thing with your database of clients you have, past clients. So we have a VA for that. We also have a VA who's actually doing the actual calling and scheduling. Those are two different tasks. I don't use the same person who I use on the phone to do the menial tasks of admin work and vice versa. And I'll explain to you the reason why I don't do this. Because somebody who's actually good on the phone, in my opinion, is not going to be great at admin tasks. So you want to outsource things that you're not good at, and those that you're good at, you do them yourself. Or let's say I have a guy who's amazing on the phone, who's calling, let's say, real estate agents. I don't want him to do admin work because that's not where his strength is. His strength is actually being on the phone. And that's why we have a job descriptions for several people. But again, it's best if you write out your own job description, and the best way to do it, just create a checklist of what you need to be done during the day. Just sit down once and sit down. Okay, I do this, this, and this, and this, and this. And then you figure out, okay, out of those things that I just put in the checklist, how many of those can be actually handled by somebody else? That's it. You know.
That's it. I think that's the key, guys, because we don't know how you process all the intricacies of your business. So that could be a little bit different from person to person. And so we knew that, we knew that going on. So from the very, very beginning. And so what we did is we outlined, and I know I show this all the time, dude, but it's one of the better ones that I have, the YouTube video upload to LCA YouTube page. So I'm going to steal your screen from you so people can get a better idea. And then I'll come back to that.
And this is just I throw a little bit of a suggestions for people they will see, you know.
All right, we'll come back to that one right there. I'm going to share my screen to show you exactly how a process would look. And if you're going to do this on your own and you're not going to hire Virtudesk, that's cool too. You have to go. I went to Google Docs. It's free. And we hired, like I said, a YouTube video person. And I needed to create like a step-by-step process where I took a picture of what to do. Then I went over here. I said, this is where you go to upload. See, that's where you upload. You make it public. And then I made other steps. And I said, look, these are the examples that I want right here, right? And this, I need more like this. You see, I used Gary Vee as an example, right? And then I said, well, this is how I want my body to look like over here. And these are the links you're going to have to use that are similar to lab coats. And then make sure that this is how the outline looks, you see. And I kept on going. This is how the tags, these are the tags you need to use. And see, I outlined it as much as I could. And I put also subscribe and do all that, add that, all those graphics.
Yeah, call to action. That's amazing. Yeah.
And so I created this step-by-step because even though we hired somebody directly from Virtudesk, I just wanted to make sure that the job was going to be done according to the way we do it, right? So it does take some time for you to do it now because we hired the right person. They're adding to that sheet. They're adding to that checklist. And now they're making it better. They're doing things on the checklist that I didn't even know you could do. So that's how you know you've picked the right virtual assistant, right? They're adding to it. So back to you, Pavel. I didn't mean to steal your screen.
You're good, bro. You're good. So, okay, I need to hit this, I guess. Yeah. So we've created a little bit of a suggestions for people what you want them to be done, you want them to do. And so again, this is suggestions basically merely upon what we've learned usually works.
Got it.
Recruiting, blog post. If you need somebody for TikTok, that can be done. I know Nick Baldwin loves that.
No, it's the opposite. He hates TikTok.
I'm just kidding.
Well, he doesn't hate TikTok. He says he doesn't use it.
I know. It's too much for him. Yeah. So also you need to determine like what time, how much time you need for your VA is, either you need somebody for a full-time or part-time, or you need somebody like for a project base. If you don't need to if you don't have a lot of work to do, you can just hire for 20 hours and just prepay 20 hours and use them out during the month. It's like Fiverr, for example. Usually we have people hire VAs for a part-time for 20 hours a week, most of them, because again, and agents have certain budgets and we understand that. And usually what happens, they hire for 20 and then later they, add more hours to 40 hours. Because of the business is going well. So
well, yeah, I think you need to start off a little slow too if you've never had one, so you need to kind of adjust to them.
Yeah,
that's what I did initially way back when I hired my very first one. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. So it's better that you do hire to start off part-time if it's your first time. And guys, this is being recorded. For those of you who are asking, I'm putting the link on the chat box. Go ahead and do me a favor. Click on that link right now and subscribe. You see that whole page. Once you see it, Lab Coat Agents, that's the whole page that our virtual assistant created. So you can actually take a look at their work. But more importantly, subscribe so you can watch the recording once this is done.
Yeah, and also we'll email everybody the slides. So
Yeah.
we'll have PDF. So again, we also provide monitoring. We've used some sort of software, but then later, I think last year, we finished building our own software. It's called Timely. Timely is it's a management platform for virtual assistants where you can see the screenshots in real time. Plus, you can track the hours when they go on a break, when they log in, log out, and it helps you with accountability. So again, you need to prepare instructions. Sometimes you can do instructions like for your VA, whoever you hire, like weekly instructions. Sometimes you do daily. I prefer to do it besides the instructions because I also have VAs working for me, and I do weekly, two times a week. I do group meetings with them on Zoom. It's usually Tuesday and Friday, and also sometimes during the day. You know, I don't do like micromanaging like during daily things, but I at least at the beginning of the week I do certain instructions, and then we touch base and adjust during the week as far as what happens. And again, for those who want to get copies of this slides, guys, you need to text leverage to this number, and I'll be happy to send them to you. As a matter of fact, you'll get them automatic.
Yeah, you know, if you don't want to wait for the email from Pavel's team later today, then you could just do it right now. You'll get those right now.
Yeah, you'll get them right now. So
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, continue, my friend. Well, guys, take a picture of this if you're not going to wait around for the email. Just take a picture of this, text it to yourself. You won't get the text if you've got an Android phone that has the signature at the bottom. You're going to have to remove your signature and just type the word leverage alone, nothing else, nothing like a signature, just the word leverage. Just heads up on that.
Yes, that's correct. Looks like we have, oh, okay. I thought we have some questions, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it basically. It's not rocket science, but
yeah. Can you go back to the previous screen? I think it was the previous. I had a question on the previous screen, my friend. Okay, on the preparing your instructions for your VA, this is where a lot of agents fail. And this is where a lot of agents fail, period, when they're hiring, right?
Correct, yeah.
And I'll give you an example. So we just hired somebody else too for lab coats. It's Tessa. So we'll introduce her to you, Pavel. But I'm going to give you an example also of the things that we're doing for people that we hire. This way, at least you can start thinking along those same lines as to how something like this would look. What are the things that you should be looking to outline for somebody that you're hiring? Because a lot of us, again, aren't very analytical. And I'm going to unshare my screen. Once you share it back there, you can pop up your text just so that I can show people exactly how to do this. So when you're hiring someone, the idea is, so look, the person we hired is our director of communications and endorsements, right? Her name's Tessa. And so I separated endorsements and I separated the webinar sections of what I want her to do. And so you can see here, create a Google Doc. You're part of this, right? Because you're one of our sponsors, Pavel. But I've outlined the things that she's going to be doing because she's brand new. Today's her first day. And so I've outlined certain things that she needs to be doing, right? Create a spreadsheet for each sponsor, for every deliverable we've met, all these things. And then on the webinar side, the things that we need for her to do on the webinar portion of this too. So you see, they're simple. It's like a checklist. And I think that's where we miss the point when we're hiring people, that they also need a checklist, because a lot of the times we just hope they kind of catch on and hope they remember what we're teaching them. And they have nothing to go back to and check, what was my job duty? What was I supposed to do in what process? And that can be a big portion of why you fail hiring a virtual assistant and hiring any assistant in general. Anonymous attendee has a question, Pavel, for you.
Anonymous.
Anonymous. What tasks would you suggest a virtual assistant to do if you are just starting out as a new agent? For example, should you have them answer emails, post to social media? What should you have them do?
Well, good question.
That
And
is a good question.
yeah, good question. It depends. It depends on if you have an existing book of business or you don't. What I would, when I was in the business for about a couple of years, here's what I did. And I'll give you just my example. Okay. Um, I was working a lot on dealing with distressed properties, and I got into the real estate from practice of law, where I was actually representing people in foreclosure defense and bankruptcies and mortgage modifications. So my transition to the real estate was actually on that side. I didn't do any kind of retail work. However, what my VA was doing, the one I hired, she was doing prospecting to pre-foreclosures, because that was my niche. She was calling pre-foreclosures, scheduling appointments for me so I can go and actually sign up as listings.
Okay.
Also, I was doing BPOs. If for those who don't know, those who are new in the area, it's a broker price opinion. Let's say a bank sends you out to do a broker price opinion on a distressed property, you go and do it. But if you know what a BPO is, it's more or less like an appraisal or like a CMA. But it's a lot of work for little money. You basically get paid like from 40 to 50 bucks per report. So my VA was actually helping me create those reports as well.
Got it. Okay.
So, but again, I was a newer agent, but this is where I use my VA the most. Prospecting to pre-foreclosures so I can sign them up and do the BPOs. Also, I was doing a lot of short sales at the moment. To handle a short sale, it requires a lot of paper pushing back and forth, especially with with the bank, with a servicer, with the borrower, and with other people. You have to, and also collection of documentation. So I was using my VE for that as well, because that's where the way I looked at it is, okay, where I need the most help right now, and what things I really hate. And it's kind of funny to say that, yeah, I come from the law practice, but I hate paperwork. And that's why I don't practice law, but this is where I outsource most of the work to the VA to collect the paperwork. I can review it. I can determine which one is needed, and also to prepare BPOs. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So you hired a virtual assistant to help you with what your strengths were going into real estate.
Exactly.
All right. So that's a good recommendation. And for whoever asked that question, I would do the same thing. I'd look to see where your strengths are. If you're going to start off by calling your sphere, right? I would have them. I honestly, I wouldn't substitute that initially, right? I would be the one calling my sphere. Don't substitute that. But you can have her fix up your CRM or input everybody that's on your phone, right?
Yeah.
Into your CRM. And then once they're in your CRM, have them tag them. Like, go through and explain to her what those look like. Is it A, B, C, D client, buyer, seller, and those tags. And then you can have them monitor that. Then you can have them create a newsletter for you using MailChimp. MailChimp's free up to 2,000 people, right? Yeah. So you can have them do the research to find the right information for your community, right? Send them to places like Curb to LA if you're in LA, and then shoot a quick video of yourself and saying, hey, this is how our community is doing. And then now you have 2 links on there with a video, and she or he is in charge of doing that whole newsletter to your sphere. Mm-hmm. Now you have them do that. And then they'll probably still have time, if you have them full time, to do other things like posting to Instagram more routinely. The idea though is really going through with them and saying, hey, these are the things that I need. This is where I envision my business going, and make sure that you make them part of your business instead of just pretending they know what to do, right?
They don't know what to do. But as far as like what you do with your business, but again, they know their job, but they need to have some clear directions from you. Exactly. Like any employee you would hire.
Yeah. And then what I did with one of the VAs that I got from you originally is I went through all of my email accounts with her. I actually had her on the phone with me, Zoom. And I said, okay, I need your help in identifying which of these emails that are coming through are spam. But let me go through 500 emails right now with you. So I went one by one, right? You see this is spam. You see this is important. If you repeatedly see this one that comes through, I need you to spam it every time and unsubscribe, because sometimes it takes like 6 times to unsubscribe.
Exactly.
So by the end of a month, she had now my email down to only the essentials. She had fixed everything, so I unsubscribed from the necessary ones and spam the rest of them. And so it can be as simple as having your email fixed up, right? Where it's just you're getting the important ones. We have one question here, and then we'll send it right back to you, Pavel. Ryan's asking, depending on which state you're in, would a VA be allowed to make prospecting calls to for sale by owners and expireds? Awesome question, Ryan. I'm going to let Pavel answer that.
Well, Ryan, you essentially already answered the question you already provided the answer in your question, depending on what state you're in. Some states are very strict. They don't allow anybody unlicensed to make those kind of phone calls. We here in the state of Washington, we are okay with this. There's no problem for us. California, same way. Some states I know they require only licensed person to make prospecting phone calls. So what some of our clients do in those states, especially Texas, which is very strict, they tailor the script so it sounds like more of a survey than a prospecting call. And as long as the virtual assistant doesn't discuss pricing, doesn't provide real estate advice, doesn't discuss commission, but simply setting up a phone call or an appointment for a licensed agent to discuss that's fine. Because what they do, they ask, okay, you had your house on the market for a certain number of days. Great. How many showings did you have? Okay. Did you have any offers? No. Did you review what the comps in the area are? Basically, they're asking the prospect those kind of questions. So it's more of like a survey. Good. Would you mind to discuss anything further with a licensed agent? Just to get any idea about the market or to have any better input as far as what to do. So that's how they do it. Because you cannot just say, hey, when are you going to hire the next agent? No, that's already pushing it into the gray line, and you don't want to be in a gray line.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I love it. All right, guys, any other questions? If not, you can throw up that last slide so people can text if they don't want to wait for their email. And guys, if you want to sign up for VirtueDesk or give them a try, it's My Virtue Desk. Is it myvirtuedesk.com?
myvirtuedesk.com, yeah.
All right, perfect. So
I have somebody else asking a question, and Allison.
I love it. And
could you hire them to call your clients to gather reviews and set up system to get those automatically? Would it be good to help you set up systems and templates?
I like that.
Oh yeah.
That's a great one, Ann. I would definitely do that. I've actually never hired one to do that. I don't know why I had never thought of that. And that's actually really good.
We had somebody doing it this way. I remember we have a client, I don't remember who it was, but the guy, when he started out, when he hired us, first thing he did, he had the VA reach out and request reviews from all his past clients. So yeah.
Yeah. And guys, when they're reaching out, please write up a nice dialogue for the VA to be able to reach out to them. Don't just assume that they're going to know how to talk to your clients, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm at a Malibu. I'm not going to just let somebody reach out to my sphere or my past clients without having them understand their lifestyle and how they talk and what they're looking for, and just to say hello. So yeah, just use that train of thought. Aaron's saying, can the VAs do nurtures like internet lead follow-up? Aaron, that's exactly what I have 2 of my virtual assistants doing in our whole database. We have a database of 68,000 people, all from online leads, past clients, sphere, everything. And we have our VAs reach out to them, and they're always digging in and seeing who they can bring back to life. And yeah, we're doing that routinely. We have 2 VAs running our database specifically for that. So good question. Susan, when one hires a VA from you, do they become our employee or still yours and we pay per hour?
They actually steal hours and you pay them per hour. So you're not responsible for any payroll taxes. You basically, pay us, and you write us off as a marketing expense. That's what you do. because we are a U.S. company. We're in Kirkland, Washington, and
Right
so
where Costco is, dude. That's their headquarters.
I know. Yep, they're right here.
I love it. Go say hi to Costco for me.
All right. They don't let people in without a mask, but I go.
I love it. Can you broadly discuss pricing? You know what?
Yeah,
That's good. We'll end it. Pavel will end it with pricing. And guys, remember to text
yeah,
leverage that
yeah.
number.
We basically start from $8.60 an hour for admin. It's a full-time admin, $8.60 per hour. If it's an ISA, it's $9.60 for a full-time. But again, I'll put the pricing right here so you can go and see for yourself.
Awesome. I don't see your screen because I see your text leverage.
Oh, okay.
You might want to switch that one off there.
Um,
Good. Got it. All right. You put the link, myvirtuedesk.com/prices. All right. Just go there, guys. And then Pavel, do me a favor, when you send out the slides, just include that link too so people can see the pricing.
Of course, we'll do. We'll definitely do that.
Pavel, thanks for joining me, dude. This was good. I loved how you outlined the process. That was great. Good job on that. I know that you had your VAs do it. You didn't do it, but that's okay. Leverage is the new hustle, right?
Leverage is the new hustle. Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you, Pavel. Appreciate you being on, my friend.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.